Okay, good day, grade 10. Welcome to Household Services. So, today we are going to discuss our module 3, which is about proper food handling. Okay, so today we are going to discuss proper food handling. Of course, since we are into food preparation or meal preparation, it is important that we have to learn the ways on how to handle foods. This is your Household Services teacher, Ma'am Rachel Enrique Blanco. Okay, first let's define meal preparation. Meal preparation is a series of activities that start from washing, peeling, cutting, or chopping the foods that you are going to cook. We also need to ensure that the quality of food being prepared is really good. Siyempre, kailangan pag mag-prepare tayo ng pagkain para sa ating pamilya, it should be fresh at malinis. Okay? Same thing as that when you are working in a food service or in a food industry, it is important na dapat malinis din yung inyong mga pagkain inihahain. So now, let's talk about food handling. We all know very well that safety is very important. Syempre, lalo na sa mga pagkain or yung mga bagay na isinusubo natin. Kasi we have to get rid of bacteria or viruses. Tama, kasi nga pandemya ngayon, so kailangan malinis lagi kung ano man yung mga pinapasok natin sa ating katawan. So we're talking about food here. Kailangan makaiwas tayo sa sakit. So we have to know the proper way of handling foods. So in the kitchen, halimbawa, mahalaga na yung mga gamit natin sa kusina, like mga tools, utensils, ganyan, na ginagamit sa pagluluto, ay malinis. Okay, let me ask you this. Which do you think is the tool na usually laging nagkakaroon ng dumi or pwedeng mag-accumulate ang bacteria doon? Yes, it is the chopping board. Kasi minsan, sa totoo lang, let's face it, dapat recommended na meron tayong chopping board for each type of food. Like for example, you have a separate chopping board for meats, a separate chopping board for fish, and your vegetables. Pero, syempre, hindi natin naiiwasan na meron tayong isa or dalawa lang sa bahay. So, what do? We have to clean it very well, yung chopping board. Kasi doon, dahil sa sobrang gamit, minsan, yung mga residue ng meat at fish na iiwan doon, nag-accumulate doon ng mga bacteria. At pwedeng matransfer yon sa iba pang uri ng pagkain na gagamitan natin ng same chopping board na ganon. Okay, so we have to avoid, syempre, hazard. Remember, health is wealth. So, kailangan nating maging maingat sa paglilinis, paggamit ng ating mga kitchen tools and utensils. Okay, now, if we are working in a food industry, restaurant in particular, kahit yung mga karinderya dyan, mainam na yung plato. Huwag hahawakan doon sa gitna. If it is impossible, yung paghawak mo ay nasa ilalim lang yung kamay mo or yung sab mo usually nandun lang sa gilid or edge ng plate, dapat ganun lang. Hindi mo parang isasawsaw yung kamay mo doon sa loob ng plato wherein ang pagkain ay nandoon. Same thing as holding forks and spoons. Huwag nyo hahawakan yung tines ng fork, di ba? May tines yung fork, yung tusok-tusok niya. Huwag nyo hahawakan pa doon. You have to hold it or touch it at the handle part. Ganon din sa kutsara. Pag sa baso, you have to handle the food na tinatawag. Yung sa ilalim, I have a word here. Dito, kung baso ito, ganito. Do not touch the upper surface of the glass. Okay, so yun mga yun, those are very important when it comes to serving food, lalo na kapag kayo ay nasa restaurant para unang-una, syempre, to avoid contamination kasi hindi mo alam kung saan ka humahawak. And then, syempre, pag nakita yun ng guest, napapaisip sila. Diba? So, kailangan maingat pagdating ng pagsaserve ng pagkain. Tapos, kapag kayo naman ay nasa food industry, halimbawa factory, and you nagmamanufacture kayo ng mga biscuits, chocolates, ganyan, you make sure that you have your gloves with you. Diba? Yung pagpapak, talagang everything should be clean. Okay? So, that's how you handle foods. Okay, let's talk about food handler. Food handler is anyone who works in a food business and who handles food and services that are likely to be in contact with foods. Okay, so, kahit hindi naman sa business, kahit kayo mismo, kung kayo inutusan sa palengke at magluluto, ipe-prepare nyo yung pagkain ng pampamilya, you are already a food handler. Now, syempre dapat maingat ka pag namalengke ka, make sure that everything you buy from the market, kailangan linisan. And then, it is also important na bawat item ay nakahiwalay sa ibang item. Kaya meron tayong food groupings na tinatawag, which we have talked about last time. So, ibig sabihin, if you buy meat, fish, vegetables, and fruits, dapat hindi sila magkakasama sa isang lagayan. Kasi nagkakahawaan. Lalo na yung raw, yung mga hilaw. Hindi dapat isinasama sa vegetables and fruits. Okay? And then, also, food handlers can also be involved in manufacturing. Like, for example, gumagawa kayo nagtatrabaho kayo sa isang factory ng biscuits at chocolates. You make sure that you have your disposable gloves with you. You just do not hold the foods kasi kapag pinak nyo sila at di ba kung saan-saan kayo humahawak, pwedeng makontaminate yung food. And that could cause illness, foodborne illnesses. Okay, here are some key points or tips in proper food handling. Okay? Yan. Avoid touching the food with your bare hands. Gumamit ng tongs, serving spoons, disposable gloves kapag hahawak ng mga pagkain at mag-prepare, katulad ng mga sandwiches or salads. Okay. Gumamit ng utensils at hawakan lamang yung handle. Do not touch yung mismong pangsandok. Halimbawa, ng inyong serving spoon, ang hahawakan nyo lang dun ay yung handle lang. Okay. A single utensil should be used for each food item. Halimbawa, yung sandok, halimbawa, panangsandok mo dun sa isang dish, huwag mo nang gagamitin pansandok dun sa pang dish na hindi naman niya kauri. Okay? Kasi minsan, syempre, nagkakaroon ng contamination. Okay, always store serving utensils in a way that permits the food service to grab handle. Okay. Tapos, syempre, yung mga utensils na ginagamit nyo, make sure linisan nyo. Kung pwede, sterilize if necessary. Okay? Now, let's talk about cross-contamination. Pag sinabing contamination, pwedeng makukuha sa iba't ibang paraan, like hand-to-food contamination. Occurs when contaminated hands handle cooked or ready-to-eat foods. Halimbawa, yun nga, kinamay nyo yung isang pagkain na ready to be served or pwede nang kainin. Diba? So, possible na yung kamay nyo ay meron siyang bacteria. Tapos sumawa kayo ng pagkain. Siyempre, that's hand to food. And then, food to food. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na kapag kayo ay namamalengke at pinagdikit nyo halimbawa yung isda na hilaw doon sa prutas, halimbawa banana. Pagdating mo sa bahay, gutom ka. Binuksan mo si banana, you didn't even wash it. Siyempre, ang banana na yung mga hinog, hindi naman yan talaga niluluto. Kakainin mo kaagad, nadikit yun sa fish. So, as much as possible, you have to separate your purchases when it comes to food. Ibig sabihin, paghiwalayin ang hindi magkakauri ng food purchase para maiwasan na ang food-to-food contamination. Next, we also have the equipment to food contamination. Na-discuss ko na kanina. All the utensils and tools that you use in preparing food or cooking, kailangan laging malinis. Laging malinis. Lalo na kagad sabi ko yung chopping board ninyo. 'Di ba? Linisan nyo bago nyo gamitin sa iba pang uri ng pagkain. O, katulad yan, use separate cutting boards for different foods. O, diba? Prepare a raw foods in separate area from fresh and ready to eat foods. So, kailangan you have to separate the types of foods na hindi magkakaparehas to avoid contamination. It is important also to make sure that all your containers, food containers, halimbawa kapag kayo ay, diba, pagtapos na kayong kumain, meron kayong mga leftovers, make sure na yung pagkain na yun ay nailagay sa malinis na lalagyanan. Because kapag hindi, baka mamaya, kinapangan nga ng cockroaches, you know very well, at night time, gumagala yung mga friendship nating cockroaches dyan. Pag nagapangan yung mga plato or yung mga containers na paglalagyan nyo ng pagkain nyo, ayun, you can easily get diba, bacteria, madali siyang makontaminate. So, madaling masira si pagkain. Aside from that, pag in-intake nyo na, maapektuhan na yung inyong health. So, make sure also that you use paper towel for wiping spills and alam mo yun, kapag halimbawa dun sa mga edges ng mga plato or yung mga containers kapag naglalagay kayo ng pagkain, ang ipapampunas nyo dun is yung paper towel, yung parang tissue paper, pero mas matibay. Yan. Kasi malinis yun. Hindi yung mamaya, although may towel kayo, kaya lang nilalabhan nyo naman. Pero you know, you're not really sure kung malinis siya. Siyempre, sinampay nyo din, malay nyo, di ba, dinapuan din ng kung ano-ano. So, might as well use the paper towel. Okay? So, that's it. I would just like to emphasize that foods should be properly handled to avoid contamination. Thus, it avoids you from getting sick. Okay, that's it, grade 10. See you again next lesson. Thank you and goodbye.